See the thumbnail? That cute mascot conducting an orchestra? You've seen this before in movies and on TV. One person moves a baton, and dozens of instruments respond in perfect sync. That's exactly what's happening to work. In the AI era, everything becomes an instrument. Code, robots, workflows, entire departments. Automation is about to accelerate fast. But here's the part most people miss. Companies won't stop at automation. They'll build automation that controls automation. A system that coordinates tools, triggers, checks, approvals, and deployment. That system has a name, orchestration. And if you want to keep your job, you don't compete with the instruments. You become the conductor. Now let me make the promise of this video very clear. This is not a learn one prompt and get rich video. This is a survival video. A map. A set of moves you can run even if you're not a programmer, even if you're not a data scientist, even if you feel late. Because AI is not a wave you can ignore. It is a new cost curve. When the cost of producing output drops, the value shifts to whatever is still scarce. And the scarce part is not writing the first draft. The scarce part is making the draft safe. The scarce part is making the draft correct. The scarce part is connecting the draft to a real business outcome. That is orchestration. Orchestration is not a tool. Orchestration is a role. It is a way of working. It is the person who owns the flow. So before we go any further, let's lock two simple definitions. A task is one action with one output. Write an email, summarize a meeting, draft a slide, generate a report, write a code snippet, classify tickets, create a chart. A flow is a chain of tasks that produces an outcome. Input comes in, work happens, someone checks it, someone approves it, it ships, it gets logged, it gets fixed when it breaks. Most jobs are not tasks. Jobs are flows. And orchestration is running those flows with AI inside them. That is the conductor job. Now, if this sounds empowering, good. But I'm not going to lie to you. The crisis is real, and it hits in three ways. First, learning takes time. Not hours, weeks and months. Because orchestration is not using AI. It is redesigning how work moves through a system. That means you will spend time rewriting checklists. You will spend time rebuilding templates. You will spend time training people. You will spend time cleaning messy inputs. You will spend time fixing outputs that look confident but are wrong. Second, AI will make mistakes, and those mistakes will be expensive if you ship them. People call this hallucination, but do not let the fancy word confuse you. It is simple. The model will sometimes produce a confident answer that is not true. The danger is not that it is wrong. The danger is that it sounds right. If you use AI like a calculator, you'll get hurt. Because calculators do not make things up. AI sometimes does. And third, this transition is uneven. Some people will get leverage. Some people will get squeezed. That is the zero-sum part. If you are an entry-level worker, the easy tasks are a big chunk of your job. If AI cheapens those tasks, your path into the industry gets tighter. That is real. If you're in the middle, your routine work gets automated and your role gets thinner. That is real. And if you're a senior, you may spend more time reviewing AI output instead of creating. That is real. So yes, the road is bumpy. But here is the key. The bump is exactly why orchestration becomes valuable. Because when something is risky, companies pay for control. And orchestration is control. Control means gates. Control means checks. Control means approvals. Control means logging. Control means who is accountable when this breaks. That is not glamorous, but it is paid. So let's talk about hallucinations and mistakes in a way beginners can actually use. You do not need to memorize papers. You need to understand failure modes. Here are the 4 most common failure modes you will see. Failure mode 1, invented facts. The model gives you numbers, names, dates, or policies that do not exist. Failure mode 2, wrong confidence. The model is correct on the surface, but the details are wrong. It uses the right vocabulary to hide a bad answer. Failure mode 3, missing context. The model answers the question you asked, not the problem you have. It ignores your company rules, your customer history, your legal constraints, your internal politics. Failure mode 4. Bad actions. The model suggests a step that is technically possible but operationally dangerous. It might send a refund without approval. It might change production settings without a rollback plan. It might message a customer in a tone your brand would never use. These failure modes are why orchestration exists. Orchestration is the discipline of not trusting the first output. Orchestration is how you build a flow that catches these failures before they become incidents. And that brings us to the zero-sum conflict. AI makes tasks cheaper. When tasks become cheaper, two things happen. 1. Companies demand more output. If output is cheap, they will ask for more of it. 2. The bottleneck moves. It moves from production to coordination. From make the draft to ship the draft safely. That bottleneck is where money and job security move. So here is the uncomfortable statement. If your value is, I can produce drafts, your value will fall. If your value is, I can ship outcomes with gates, your value will rise. That is the conductor. Now let's make it real with one story, because stories are easier than theory. Imagine a refund request. A customer sends an email, I want my money back. In the old world, a human reads the email, checks policy, checks purchase history, checks time windows, checks fraud signals, asks a manager if needed, then replies. In the AI world, AI can draft the reply in 5 seconds. Great, but that is not the job. The job is, are you allowed to promise a refund? Does the customer qualify? Is the purchase outside the window? Is this a chargeback risk? Do you need to verify identity? Do you need manager approval? Do you need to record it for compliance? Do you need to update billing, inventory, and customer notes? Do you need to trigger a follow-up? That is a flow. That is orchestration. And now you can see why orchestration is paid. Because the flow touches money, policy, and risk. And risk is expensive. Now we are ready for a simple framework. The orchestration framework has 4 blocks. Block 1, input. Block 2, transform. Block 3, gates. Block 4, output. Input is how information enters the system. Transform is where AI helps produce a draft or a suggestion. Gates are where you verify, approve, and control risk. Output is where you ship, log, and monitor. That is it. If you can build those 4 blocks around one flow, you can become the conductor. Now, the beginner question is always the same. Okay, but how do I do this in my job? So here are 4 examples, one for each common world: support, marketing, engineering, and operations. Example 1, customer support. Input, ticket comes in. Transform, AI drafts a reply, tags the issue, suggests next steps. Gate 1, correctness. Check the order details, policy, and facts. Gate 2, risk. If refund, if legal language, if angry customer, if high value, route to a human approver. Output, send reply, log the decision, update CRM, track resolution. Who owns the value? The person who owns the rules. The person who owns escalation. The person who owns the checklist. The person who owns the quality gates. That is the conductor. Example 2, marketing. Input, campaign brief, product facts, brand rules. Transform, AI generates variations of copy and creative directions. Gate 1, correctness. Verify product claims, pricing, and terms. Gate 2, risk. Ban claims, legal review triggers, brand tone checks. Output, publish. Track results, run experiments, scale winners, kill losers, document learnings. Who owns the value? Not the person who can generate 100 headlines. AI can do that. The value is the person who can run safe experiments and connect ads to revenue. That is the conductor. Example 3, engineering and data. Input, product requirements, user stories, data constraints. Transform, AI generates code drafts, tests, queries, documentation. Gate 1, correctness. Run tests, lint, validate against specs, validate data. Gate 2, risk, security review, permissions, secret scanning, deployment approvals, rollback plan required. Output, merge, deploy, monitor, alert, post-mortem if needed. Who owns the value? Not I can write code fast. The value is I can ship code safely. That is orchestration. That is the conductor. Example 4, IT and operations. Input, alerts, tickets, change requests. Transform, AI summarizes incidents, suggests runbook steps, draft status updates. Gate 1, correctness. Verify the system state, confirm metrics, reproduce the issue. Gate 2, risk, change management, approvals, blast radius checks, maintenance window rules. Output, execute change, monitor, document, prevent recurrence. Who owns the value? The person who controls the flow from alert to resolution. That is the conductor. Now let's address the big fear. AI is going to take jobs. The more accurate version is this. AI is going to unbundle jobs. It will take the easy tasks first. Then it will take the medium tasks. And what remains is the messy layer. Coordination, verification, exception handling, risk control, and accountability. Most people avoid that layer. That is why it becomes a moat. Now we can build your personal playbook. This is the part you should repeat. This is the part you should print. This is the part you should run. 7 steps. Beginner friendly. Step 1. List your tasks. Not your job title. Your tasks. Write down 25 to 40 things you touch in a normal week. Emails, meetings, approvals, follow-ups, reports, data pulls, customer calls, quality checks. Everything. Step 2. Group them into flows. Most jobs are 3 to 5 flows. A flow is a chain. Intake, work, check, approve, ship, log, fix. Step 3. Find choke points. These are the moments where mistakes cost money or reputation. Customer-facing claims, payments, security, compliance, anything hard to undo. Step 4. Design the 4-block layer. Input, transform, gates output. Write like a recipe. If X happens, do Y, then check Z, then ship. Step 5. Add 2 gates. Only 2. Gate 1 is correctness. Gate 2 is risk. Correctness can be a checklist, a source check, a test, or a second review. Risk can be a policy scan, a forbidden claims list, an escalation rule, or an approval trigger. Step 6. Measure 3 numbers. Cycle time, error rate, rework rate, customer satisfaction. Pick 3 that match your world, before and after. If you cannot measure it, you cannot defend it. If you cannot defend it, you cannot own it. Step 7. Document the flow. Write the rules. Write the checklist. Write the escalation triggers. Write what good looks like. This is not busy work. This is your moat. Because now you're not a person who does tasks. You're the person who runs a system. Now I want to give you 3 levels of conductor so you can see the ladder. Level 1. Personal orchestration. You build one flow for yourself. You reduce errors. You save time. You ship more reliably. You become harder to replace. Level 2. Team orchestration. You standardize the flow. You create templates. You add approvals and logs. Now the team depends on the system, and you're the owner. Level 3. Business orchestration. You connect flows across teams. Support connects to billing. Marketing connects to sales. Engineering connects to security. Operations connects to compliance. This is where promotions come from. Because you are improving outcomes, not tasks. Now, let's talk about the beginner trap. A lot of people become AI power users. They learn prompts. They learn 10 tools. They generate output fast. They look impressive for a month. Then the company standardizes the tools. Everyone gets access. The advantage disappears. Power use is not ownership. Ownership is the moat. The conductor owns timing, gates, and results. The musician plays notes. So do not stop at, I can use AI. That becomes table stakes. Go to I run the flow. That is leverage. Now, let's make the solution more concrete with 2 checklists. Checklist 1, a correctness gate. Ask, what is the source of truth? Did the AI cite a real policy, a real number, a real record? Can I verify it in 1 minute? If I cannot verify, I do not ship. Checklist 2, a risk gate. Ask, does this touch money? Does this touch legal language? Does this touch security? Does this touch customer trust? Is this irreversible? If yes, escalate. require approval, log everything, slow down on purpose. That is how you move fast safely. Now, the next beginner question. Where do I start if my company has no AI strategy? Perfect. That is an opportunity. Because orchestration does not require a huge budget. You can start with one flow and a simple tool set. Even a document template plus a checklist plus a review step is orchestration. The value is not the tool. The value is the controlled flow. So here is the 30-day plan. Week 1, map one flow and list choke points. Do not change anything yet. Just map and observe. Week 2, add one AI transform step. 1, not 10, and add 2 gates. Correctness and risk. Week 3, run it in real work. Track 3 metrics. Log failures. Fix the checklist. Adjust escalation rules. Week 4, write the playbook and share it. Share it with your manager. Share it with your team. Make it visible. That is how you turn "I used AI" into "I built a system." And systems get funded. Now, I want to address the resource decision maker idea you mentioned. Let's translate it into plain English. A resource decision maker is the person who decides which tools get used, which flows get automated, who gets access, what gets approved, what gets measured, what risk is acceptable. You do not become that person by asking. You become that person by owning one flow so well that people bring decisions to you. So here's the path. First, become the owner of a small flow. Then become the owner of the rules inside that flow. Then become the owner of the metrics. Then you become the person who decides what to do next. That is how you grow power. Now let's talk about fairness and the zero-sum part honestly. AI will widen gaps if we pretend it is magic. If companies use AI to cut headcount without rebuilding flows, the survivors get burned out. If managers demand infinite output without gates, quality collapses. If entry-level tasks disappear with no training ladder, the pipeline breaks. That is why orchestration is also a social skill. You must design flows that keep humans in the loop where it matters. You must design flows that create training paths. You must design flows that reduce risk, not just cost. And if you can do that, you become rare. Now, let's close with the cleanest summary I can give you. AI is not your coworker. AI is not your enemy. AI is an instrument. If you play notes, you will compete with instruments. If you conduct flows, you will control instruments. Tasks are getting cheaper. Flows are getting more valuable. Gates are becoming mandatory. Accountability is still human. So do not ask, how do I become faster? Ask, how do I ship safely? Pick one flow you touch every week. Build the 4 blocks. Input, transform, gates, output. Add 2 gates, correctness and risk. Track 3 metrics. Document the playbook. Share it. Do that, and AI stops being a threat. It becomes leverage you own. If you want more zero-sum breakdowns on who wins and who loses in this transition, subscribe to Zero Sum Slayer. And comment one flow you want to orchestrate first. Not a tool, a flow. Because flows are where careers survive. Now let's answer the objections I know you have, because beginners always have the same 3 doubts. Objection 1, I'm not technical. Good. Most orchestration is not code. It is coordination. If you can write a clear checklist, you can orchestrate. If you can design a simple approval rule, you can orchestrate. Think about a restaurant. The chef cooks, but the restaurant succeeds or fails on the flow. Orders come in, quality is checked, food goes out, complaints get handled, payments get recorded. That is orchestration. Objection 2, my manager doesn't care. Your manager cares about outcomes. So speak the language of outcomes. Do not say, I play with AI. Say, I reduced cycle time. Say, I reduced errors. Say, I created a repeatable process. Here is a simple script you can use. I mapped one flow we run every week. I added one AI assist step. I added 2 gates so we do not ship mistakes. I tracked 3 metrics. Here is the before and after. If we roll this out to the whole team, we save hours per week and reduce rework. That is hard to ignore. Objection 3. What if the company just takes my system and cuts me? Here is the honest answer. Attach your name to the system through ownership. Be the person who maintains it, trains others, and updates the rules when policy changes. Be the person who measures and reports outcomes. Responsibility is what companies cannot automate away. Now, the 3 moats you can build in any job. Moat 1. Context. AI has general knowledge. It does not know your customers, your products, your deadlines, and your constraints. Capture that context into templates, checklists, and rules. Moat 2. Controls. In the AI era, speed is cheap. Safe speed is expensive. If you build gates, you become the owner of trust. Moat 3. Accountability. AI does not take blame. Humans take blame. If you're willing to own outcomes, you become valuable. A practical way to prove you are a conductor is your resume language. Here are 2 bullet templates. Built and owned an AI-assisted workflow that reduced cycle time by X% and reduced rework by Y% through correctness and risk gates. Designed an orchestration playbook for a cross-functional process, including approval rules, logging and escalation paths, improving delivery and audit readiness. Now, one more story, because it makes the point stick. Imagine you're in finance. Your job is to close the month. You collect numbers from different teams, clean data, check anomalies, build the report, and answer executive questions. AI can draft text and charts, but the month close flow is full of risk. Wrong numbers create bad decisions. So an orchestrator designs a flow. Inputs are validated. Anomalies are flagged. The draft report is generated. 2 gates check correctness and risk. Approvals and versions are logged. The final report is distributed cleanly. Now, think about hiring. AI can screen resumes, but screening is risky. Bias, fairness, and compliance matter. So an orchestrator designs a flow. Resume intake, criteria definition, AI-assisted scoring, human review for edge cases, interview scheduling, structured notes, decision meeting, offer approvals, audit logs. One last reminder, do not chase every new tool. Tools change, flows remain. If you can orchestrate, you can swap instruments. If you cannot orchestrate, the instrument will eventually play without you. AI is the instrument. You are the conductor. On the flow. Before you go, let me give you 3 starter flows you can copy if you feel stuck. Starter flow 1, meeting to action. Input, meeting notes. Transform. AI turns notes into action items. Gate 1, correctness. You confirm owners and dates. Gate 2, risk. Anything customer-facing or money-related needs approval. Output, tasks created, reminders scheduled, status sent. Starter flow 2, email to decision. Input, messy email thread. Transform, AI summarizes and proposes options. Gate 1, correctness. You check facts in the thread. Gate 2, risk. Anything legal or pricing gets escalated. Output, 1 clear decision message, log for later. Starter flow 3, report to insight. Input, weekly numbers. Transform, AI drafts a narrative and highlights anomalies. Gate 1, correctness. You verify the numbers. Gate 2, risk. You avoid claims you cannot support. Output, a short report that executives can trust. Pick one, run it for 2 weeks, then upgrade it. That is how you go from AI user to flow owner. And remember, your goal is not to outright the model. Your goal is to outship your peers with fewer mistakes. Own one flow, then another. That is the conductor path starting this week.